issue of shouting at me, please. Who thinks that Harry should get taxpayer-funded protection because of the threat of Al-Qaeda?
Yes.
Yes. OK. Who thinks he shouldn't?
Me.
That's real, because 60-40 in favour of shouldn't, I think.
No,
Barry.
70-30.
OK. Go on, Barry. You're because I suppose one of the points would be, whilst it's awful, and no doubt there is clearly a threat from Al-Qaeda, has he not brought it on himself a bit?
Look, he's a young man who fought for this country, and I respect him for that. He's a young man who, having seen some of his friends disfigured and become limbless, set up his charity, and I respect him for that. He went to Ukraine not to flaunt himself in a war zone, but actually to visit some of the veterans of that war who had been injured and lost limbs as well, and I respect him for that. Of course he should have taxpayer-funded protection in this country because he is, as Christo says, the son of our head of state, the son of our king. And if there's any way to attack this country, it is through the son of our monarch. It seems blindingly obvious to me that the original Home Office decision to take away protection from him was quite simply wrong. You don't ask to be born into the royal family. It's something you have no control over. It just happens to you. Okay, it's got huge pluses, and we might all be envious of those, but it has got quite a few negatives as well.
Have you ever wondered why some media outlets hold a persistent grudge against certain public figures? A recent incident might just shed some light on this. Enter MP Barry Gardiner, a man unafraid to call out the trolls of GB News. In a move that was as bold as it was unapologetic, Gardner stood his ground, defending Prince Harry and making it crystal clear that the Prince's security is not a topic for public debate. He didn't mince his words, didn't dance around the issue. Instead, he delivered a reality check that was exactly what was needed. One has to admit GB News has been particularly vociferous and rather bitter in their criticism of Prince Harry, seemingly making it their mission to tear him down at every opportunity. Their trolls have eagerly followed suit. But Gardner wasn't buying what they were selling. He stood firm, spoke the truth, and reminded everyone why Harry deserves not just protection, but respect. Let's be clear here. Harry isn't asking for any special privileges. He's simply asking for basic safety. The way these trolls have twisted this simple request into something negative is both pathetic and dangerous. Gardner didn't just say what needed to be said, he said it loud and clear. His support is a powerful reminder that Harry is not alone in this fight. And so we tip our hats to MP Barry Gardner for standing up for what's right and putting those haters, especially those at GB News, in their place. This was a bitter pill for them to swallow, and it's about time they were served a dose of reality. A public figure speaking with such clarity and conviction without sugarcoating anything is indeed a rarity. Gardner's reality check was not just unprecedented, it was absolutely necessary, and it's high time we had more of these in our public discourse. Because the truth, no matter how bitter, must always prevail. Now imagine a media platform that thrives on hating one particular individual. Sounds bitter, doesn't it? Well, welcome to the world of GB News, a platform that has been unrelenting in its campaign against Prince Harry. GB News has been one of the loudest, most persistent critics of Harry. Let's break this down. Their mission, it seems, is to tear down a man who is simply asking for basic safety and respect, not privilege. They've turned this into a daily sport, seizing every opportunity to criticise Harry, to twist his words, to paint him as the villain. It's not just about the news they report, but the narrative they foster. Each piece contributes to a wider storyline, one that is designed to chip away at Harry's credibility and character. This isn't journalism, it's a smear campaign. And let's not forget the trolls who follow GB News, who amplify their message and add fuel to the fire. They've taken the negativity spread by GB News and run with it, contributing to a toxic environment where Harry's basic right to safety is questioned and ridiculed. It's a dangerous game they're playing, twisting facts and reality to fit a narrative that suits their agenda. This isn't just about Harry. It's about the kind of society we want to live in. Do we want a society where anyone can be targeted and torn down just because they choose to live their life differently? MP Barry Gardner recognised this, and he wasn't afraid to call it out. He stood up against GB News and their trolls, reminding everyone that hating on Harry isn't just wrong, it's dangerous. It's a sad truth that such a platform exists, one that has made it its mission to tear down a single individual. But there's something we can learn from this: the importance of standing up against hate, of speaking out for what's right, just like Barry Gardner did. Because at the end of the day, it's not about Harry, it's about us and the kind of world we want to live in. What happens when a simple plea for safety is twisted into something negative? Enter the world of online trolls, where even the most basic human rights are spun into a web of negativity, mockery, and sometimes outright hatred. The recent barrage against Prince Harry is a prime example of this twisted narrative. Harry, like any other human being, has the right to personal safety. Yet his request for protection has been contorted into a demand for privilege, a gross misinterpretation that is both pathetic and dangerous. This distortion, this twisting of facts, serves a single purpose: to tarnish Harry's image, to paint him as out of touch, entitled and demanding. But let's strip away the falsehoods and look at the bare truth. Harry is not asking for a golden carriage or a royal entourage. He is asking for basic safety for himself and his family, a right that every person, royal or not, deserves. Imagine living in a world where your every move is scrutinized, where every word you utter is twisted, where your safety is threatened. That is Harry's reality. Yet when he asks for protection, he is met with ridicule and disdain. This is not just pathetic, it's a dangerous precedent. It suggests that it is acceptable to deny a person their right to safety, to twist their plea into a tale of entitlement just because they are in the public eye. What's more, this twisted narrative is not just harmful to Harry. It sends a damaging message to the public, implying that it's okay to twist facts, to perpetuate falsehoods, to mock someone's plea for protection. It normalizes a culture of online trolling, where empathy is replaced by mockery and understanding is overshadowed by hatred. It's time we disrupted this narrative. It's time we called out these trolls and their twisted tales. It's time we stood up for Harry and for everyone else who has had their pleas for safety twisted into something negative. It's alarming to see how a simple plea for safety has been turned into a negative narrative. Let us remember, safety is not a privilege, it is a right, and it's high time we treated it as such. Sometimes a bitter pill is just what's needed to bring about a reality check. And that's exactly what MP Barry Gardner served to GB News, a dose of truth too raw for their taste. It was a moment of fortitude, a moment of standing up against the haters, a moment of defending what's right. And it was about time. Barry Gardner's support for Prince Harry was a bitter pill indeed for GB News. They've been relishing their hate campaign, feeding off the negativity they've been spewing. But Gardner's bold stance was a stark reminder of the reality they've been so conveniently ignoring. He stood up for Harry, for decency, for fairness and for truth. He did not mince words, nor did he allow the trolls to twist the narrative. And that, my friends, was a hefty pill to swallow for GB News. But let's be clear, this wasn't about politics or scoring points. This was about humanity and the basic right to safety. This was about standing up against the haters who've made it their mission to tear down a man asking for nothing more than his basic right to security. And Barry Gardner was the voice of reason, the voice of truth amidst the cacophony of hate. His unwavering support for Prince Harry was not just a bitter pill for GB News, but for all those who thrive on hate and negativity. It was a reminder that the world is not their echo chamber, and that there are still people who believe in speaking up for what's right, even when it's not popular. It was a pill of reality, a pill of truth, a pill of fairness, and it was about time it was served. As Gardner's words continue to echo, let's hope that this bitter pill brings about the much-needed reality check. Let's hope it makes the haters pause and reflect. Let's hope it makes them realize the damage they're causing with their relentless negativity. It's high time that such a reality check was delivered to those who thrive on hate. Let's hope this pill works its magic, because the world could surely use a little less hate and a lot more understanding. And so we've peeled back the layers of this issue, revealing the bitter truth beneath. Let's stand with those who, like Barry Gardner, dare to challenge the vitriol. Your support is powerful, and it matters. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Stand up against hate, because every voice counts.